for these communities. Myself, I authored legislation to allow ex-offenders to formerly incarcerated individuals to start their own business so that they could get loans. And that way they could provide more employment for individuals that are formerly incarcerated. I have a bill right now that I'm working with the community with Green Acres, and that is the African American Employment Plan to reduce the number of unemployed African Americans in these communities so that they can provide good jobs and provide money for their families so that they don't have to work 2 and 3 jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. I've passed legislation to ban the box to allow ex-offenders, the formerly incarcerated, to get interviews so that they could go in and be interviewed and not be turned away at the door.
Yeah, but why don't we fight for laws to deal with removing expungements from these people's record that's keeping them from getting jobs? The legislature...
I sponsor legislation for that, and it's been a major pushback. I put a legislation in the books to say that after, now this is extreme, just after 20 years, if you have not committed a crime, then you should be freed up of any record. Now, and I've got pushback for 20 years.
Yeah, but I mean, you can file for bankruptcy and have it off your record in 7 years. So why we go deprive a citizen from? I mean, I'm a firm believer if you committed a crime, once you paid your dues, you should be able to go back in society and function as a normal citizen. But we have all these laws on, and then we just passed new laws, the legislative, under the urging of Mayor Daley to make sure people go to jail for a year, so on. So all you're doing is overpopulating the prison. We need to create solutions within our laws to deal with these issues.
That's right. And, you know, I think that's what the community has to come around and say, we are going to come to Springfield. We're going to call on the legislators in Springfield, not just the black legislators, but all of the legislators, the white ones, the Hispanic ones, to say that if you are not going to support these issues, then you're going to continue to have these budget deficits. I think the president said it clear. In America, in the state of Illinois, and Chicago, we're all going to rise or fall together. So while they're thinking that they're holding us back as a race, holding a certain group back, whether it's ex-offenders or people that don't have college degrees, while they think that they're holding them back, they're really holding all of us back.
Well, we have to do something about it. We're going to take this break, and we're going to come right back. Talk to me with the coach, Michael E. Mayden, as State Representative LaSHAWN Ford is our guest. Hey, feel like your business or product lacks the exposure or attention needed to make the big bucks? Well, you can advertise on this network, reaching over 1.2 million listeners. For affordable advertisement rates, contact us at 888-833-7688. That's 888-833-7688. Talk to me with the coach, Michael E. Mayden. Streaming live to a worldwide audience, 24/7. www.mem247.com. That's www.mem247.com. Hey, if you are hosting an affair or event that you would like our broadcast team to attend or speak at, contact us at 888-833-7688 or visit our website at www.mem247.com. That's 888-833-7688 or www.mem247.com. Welcome back to Talk to Me with the coach, Mike. We made this. We got LaSHAWN K. Ford, state representative, on our live line today. A little bit late in the show, we're going to talk about this Arizona law. So you tune in. The coach got some serious views about the law of immigration. But we're going to stick to Chicago, our Chicago crisis right now. I mean, you know, it's right now in Chicago, we're on pace for a record murder rate. And it's senseless. It is really senseless. I mean, How can we bring these churches together, these community leaders together to bring change in our inner city communities?
Yeah. And I think that issues like this bring us together. And I think that we have to stick with it, and we cannot allow anyone to tell us that we can't work on more than one thing at a time, because that's what they're saying. You know, you just keep working on money, keep working on bringing more money to the community. Well, it's more than that. I think we have to work on all of the social ills that are affecting our communities at the same time that we're tough on crime. But make sure that there's a balance of opportunities, that everyone has opportunity to work on the Eisenhower 290 Expressway or any of the jobs that's being offered by the city and state. You know, if people don't have opportunities, they have opportunity for crime. That's what they result to.
But you have to agree that the social and economic conditions of our community is directly tied to lack of economic wealth.
That's right.
When I look at the murder rates in Inglewood, Roseland, West Pullman, I don't see those taking place in Mount Greenwood. I don't see them in Beverly, because these are communities where wealth are allowed to flow in those communities. And when I look at the state of Illinois that has a $59 billion budget, blacks, minorities get less than 0.5% of that wealth from the state. In the city, we get a $6 billion budget, and you get less than 7% of the wealth in forms of contracts. So, I mean, we have to address the economic disparities in our community if we want the social and economic condition of our communities to improve. It's not going to improve by putting National Guards, more police officers. You have to create wealth in those communities.
And you have to do it all at the same time, because all while we can't wait for the economic development to come, because economic development won't come if you have crime. People don't want to open businesses in areas where crime is high. So we have to do it all simultaneously, because we know that crime reduces property value. We know that crime closes stores. We know that we have to do all of it at one time, and we can't allow anyone to tell us that we have to first bring businesses into our community before we can reduce crime, because they're not going to come.
Well, but we have to have access to the flow of the wealth. I mean, Wells Construction got $100 million in contracts to work on the expressway when you got black vendors, black contractors right in this city. But the state legislature has a law that bundles these contracts together and make it impossible for minority vendors to be able to bid on these contracts and get them with these bonding laws and bundling. So when you're talking about working together, this Black Caucus and these city councilmen have to change these laws.
And we're working on that together.
But how long is it going to take? This has been going on for years. I mean, I'm hearing this on the news. Here's the problem I have. Years ago, to be a Chicago police officer, it required a high school diploma. Ed Burke changed the law, proposed a law, and city council said you had to have 2 years college degree. You knocked out 70% of the black and Hispanic that would qualify for the police just by raising the standards on the education. The city council don't address that. All you have to do is rescind that law, and you wouldn't have 13,000 police officers and only 4,000 of them are black.
Right.
In a city that's nearly 50% black and Hispanic.
That's right.
So, I mean, you know, when we say we're working on these, U.S. elected officials who we elect to represent us, you have to fight for these laws to be changed, and do like the Hispanics. Whole press conference. That's all I've seen about this Arizona thing is press conference. I'm hearing you and other elected officials say we're working on this, but I don't see you on the news bringing the attention to the people to get the people to rally. And that's my concern, because I'm concerned when I drive through my community and see the social and economic condition of my community, and darn near all of our state elected officials are black in the city of Chicago. Nearly half of the aldermen are black, and we get nothing to show for it when we're the majority population of the city. Pat Quinn cannot be elected governor right now without the black vote.
That's right.
Mayor Daley could not be elected mayor without the black vote. Now, how come our black elected officials are not putting pressure on the mayor, the governor, and Mike Madigan and the rest of them to be accountable to what comes in and out of our community?
Well, I would say that I know that there's pressure. I know that you know that maybe you don't. I did not support Quinn during the primary.
I don't support him now, but that's a different story.
And so that